So one of the last things that we need to couple here is that we've talked a lot about how the bridge activates the core, and in order to do a core contraction correctly, while everything else is moving, how to facilitate that. What we haven't talked about a lot yet is the hamstring activation. So bridging is a very good precursor or exercise that you would give somebody before you want them to do sitting to standing or walking or standing, right? Most of our patients come in and they are what we call quad dominant, or they use their quads for everything. She might be one of those people. Okay. So this exercise is also designed to help activate the glutes and the hamstrings in order to get a downward motion. So if you think about this, we're trying to get an extension moment at the hip and, we'll just call it, at the hip. So an extension moment means that the foot is pressing down into the ground in order to create an upwards moment. A flexion moment would mean we're trying to lift the leg up, and that's flexing it. Okay, so as she does a brace, good, she activates here, good. And as she lifts up without rolling the buns under, we're going to think about not just lifting up from here, we're thinking about pushing down through the feet. As she pushes down through the feet, good, relax, come back down. As she pushes down through the feet, she should be feeling her hamstrings contract, right? Go ahead and press down again, good. And as you get that hamstring to activate, now lift up the rest of it. There it is. Very nice. That also takes a lot of attention off of the low back, and that's because that's not where we want to have things moving, right? So the other question then is, what if patients say, well, you know, I can't feel my abs, I don't even know what you're talking about, or they start arguing with you about, no, this isn't right, someone else taught me differently, blah, 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 right? So first thing first, which is, if someone can't feel their abdomen, that's because they've never had someone teach them the proprioceptive awareness technique. That technique is literally getting them to turn on and off and on and off, with them feeling with their own hands through their fat. Everybody's got fat, right? So they feel through their own fat and to say, there's the muscle. Well, it's so tiny. That's right, it is so tiny, and we're trying to strengthen it, and that's why you're here. Oh, okay. So, and then you have to tell them, this sensation that you feel in your fingertips of your muscles, that's your abdomen, that's your core, and those are the muscles. You can also break out the anatomy book and show them what they actually look like. The other thing is that we also want them to be able to do it without the sensation of their fingertips, just being able to core contract and feel that on the inside. So once we say, okay, can you feel that it's firmer? Well, it's not that. It's not like abs of steel. Well, no, it's not abs of steel. And you don't need to have abs of steel. You just need to have an increased squeeze, and that's what we're looking for. Everything else is correct. Then they can say, okay, take your hands away, or you tell them, take your hands away, and actually feel in your brain, what is your stomach muscle information coming up to you? And they'll say, I don't know what it says. Okay, well, that's fine. You are doing it correct right now. So whatever it is that you are thinking in your brain from your abdomen is where you want to press your set button, because this is correct. Okay? So that's how you get someone to feel their abdomen. If they're saying, this isn't right, this isn't how someone else taught me, I don't agree with this isn't right, that's fine. And you just tell them, hey, you know what, there's 1,000 different ways to teach exercises. You're right, there are many, many different ways to do this. You were probably taught by somebody else a different method by which we do this. This is our method, and the reason for that is we get the patients who have been in chronic pain for 40 and 50 years out of pain. So you have your choice. You can do it that way. You can do it this way. If somebody else teaches you a third way, you're welcome to do it however you'd like. I know, though, from working with a therapist here, that if you do it in this way, you're probably going to get better results from what they're doing with you. How's that sound? Okay, great. Okay. If they still argue with you beyond that, then you say, you know what, you're right. Yeah, this is very, very different, and it probably feels weird. How about this? Just humor me. Try this out. We'll see if you're successful. And then, as soon as your therapist is done, we'll have them come over and take a look at it. Okay? Again, put it on the therapist's shoulders, right? You guys aren't the ones who are supposed to be doing everything. It's the therapists who are supposed to be training their patients to feel and have proprioception. And you guys are the follow-up and the backup for that, okay? So, make sense? Great.